just walking and loving you.
What's going on? I'm with Miss Morning Mayan right now to talk about more high frequencies, especially after this crazy bombing in Boston, all this crazy stuff going on, huh?
Totally crazy.
It's been gnarly. I mean, just all this intense energy I think people are feeling, you know, and you know I'm an astrologer, so there's been all this crazy masculine energy on the planet. But with all this masculine energy, there's like a reflect, there's like a lot of positive to reflect on. I mean, even though I feel the media has shifted things as so negative, if you look inside and feel the vibration, there is such a positive energy. I mean, look where we're at right now.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Malibu, pretty awesome. Yeah, well, whenever these kind of things happen, all of a sudden, what you were saying earlier to me was like the other side becomes very clear. One, that we're going to be pulling in something really wonderful, hopefully, but immediately what becomes clear is what's important, which is family, love, connection, neighbor, caring. Even about all of our hearts went out to everybody in Boston. All of a sudden, we're like, boom, we're back on the whole connection thing. Like, instead of me being me and you being you, it's like we're in this together. That's always a great mindset to get in. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes disasters to get us to that place where we're joined together, but that is one of the beautiful outcomes of a crisis.
It is, and this is a big shift. We left 2012 and we're in the meat and potatoes of us all shifting and the earth shifting. I mean, we are actually talking on Earth Day. Yep,
it's Earth Day, and you know, they have really cleaned things up a lot. I mean, in Santa Monica, it is one of the greenest places in the country, actually. Everything's solar powered, all the cars are solar powered. The Ferris wheel over there is solar powered. But as you were saying, wouldn't it be nice if Earth Day was every day, and maybe we had one day to like throw stuff around or not recycle or something.
Well, it's funny because this kind of goes with what's going on with the Boston thing. Like, I kind of feel that humanity's been duped by our media a lot, you know, like, oh, life sucks because of what happened at the Boston thing. That's one, and I hate to say it, tiny, small speck of what's going on this whole planet.
Right.
You know, and don't get caught up into that frequency range. There's so many more positive frequencies to tap into. I mean, there's hero stories happening every day. There's love that's still happening on the planet.
Absolutely.
There's beautiful things that to tap into. And then, of course, like on a day like today on Earth Day, you know, some people are not driving and so forth. Like, why can't we do that every day?
Right. I mean, we walked down here.
We walked here.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
But the other thing that you were talking about, just in general, like, you can't always put your head in the sand, nor should you. But when it comes to low frequency events, like this was a horrible low frequency event, and you have to look at it just like you have to talk to your mother-in-law sometimes, but you don't have to do it for hours and hours. Get the information, let it in, and then cut it off. 10 minutes, even though the mass media would have you watch it hour after hour. If you keep tuned in, they're going to show you the same horrific pictures, the same stories, more interviews, all keeping you in the same vibration of like, it's horrible, it's horrible. That was horrible, but it is just a small part. Just like your mother-in-law's gallbladder is horrible for her, but it's just a small part of your life. So make sure wherever those low frequencies are showing up, you take them in, you deal with them, but you don't live there, and you set some boundaries on that across the board. So I would recommend that.
It takes courage to do that, though, because we feel right now that we're very connected as people and as a society, and we're all rising into a better place. But it almost feels like because everybody else is talking about it and because it impacted a country and it impacts the world, you have to find the courage to lead by example in your own energy fields as to brush that aside and move into more positive energy, because just as bad as the energy is, it's a positive and negative universe. That means there is a huge positive on the other side, and I want to know what that is, you know? That's all I care about.
Yeah, that's, well, I mean, some of the things I'm seeing is, you know, crowdsourcing is a big thing they're talking about now. Like,
yeah.
And so, of course, you can take anything and use it for nefarious means or for good means. Crowdsourcing could be used to be like massive spying on everybody that's innocent. But in this case, when we're looking around the Boston bombing, for instance, there are a lot of independent journalists, citizens that got very important footage that we now have to look at. And I think that's important because instead of being force-fed what the media that's bought. When I was in Dubai, our guy told us that the King of Abu Dhabi had just bought 10% of CNN. So, there you go. How you feeling about the King of Abu Dhabi being in control of your news? Because that's what's going on with people that own it. They're pulling their own strings. So,
and that's a very low vibration place. I think because when you were out there, you know, it's like I saw it. Like it's very like the hotels and all this thing in the middle of Abu Dhabi. Like you know, there's not this. It doesn't feel very like like the gods are singing kind of energy.
Yeah, well, and that might be California dreaming too.
Yeah,
there is just something. California's got a lot wrong with it, but what they do have down is that people are good about being authentic. And the other thing is, like we were talking about, you can have conversations about whatever you feel, however out there it is, and there's somebody that will listen to you and be able to understand and be there instead of shutting you down, which unfortunately, and you might be finding that in your hometown when it comes to whatever you're talking about, whether it's the news or something, you know, metaphysical or astrological, that you know, you don't have an open format to connect with people, that they're shutting you down, that they're doubtful. So that's one of the great things about YouTube, I think, is that we can all connect here, great minds that think alike, and share our ideas and our thoughts. And
well, and that's why I wanted to connect with you again, because you've got all this great high vibration in your past, and then on top of it, you know, you are a leader in getting people the information about what's happening in our government, what's happening here on the planet, what's happening between people. And I just thought it was so great to share with my viewers and for us to connect and really get deep into like what the hell is going on here, because there's definitely something crazy, but it's on the positive if you have the courage to go into that energy and not fall into a lot of the traps that are lower vibration still everywhere. Yeah,
I think that's a really good point you just said, because the traps are there. Whether it's in the news and they're going to try and hijack your vibration for the day by centering it around something that you really can't do anything about. And it is sad and it is horrible and people did get hurt. So, but people are getting hurt all over the planet every day. People are dying of starvation and AIDS. Where do you go?
Yeah.
But what you can do for sure is get a hold of your own frequency and move it towards something positive for you and your family. If you only go out there and hug somebody or your neighbor or somebody old that you haven't talked to, that's your neighbor, like, and I was saying, like, it always seems to be,
and that's some low vibration.
What's up with that? He's in a public.
I hope you guys heard that.
That was a really interesting, like,
I've never got that in my whole life.
No, nor have I. Especially when they're down here teaching boot camps all day long and people are screaming 1, 2, 1, 2, get on your butt, another squat.
I don't know. But see, that's an example where if somebody runs by and says, fuck you, for no reason, which could be like a Boston bombing of crazy energy, you got to accept it, but then get back to your higher vibration.
Yeah, and really,
no matter
like,
what that is.
And the first thought is, I've noticed that like a lot of people, when people jump on you like that, you're like, what am I doing wrong? So we both looked at each other like, are we doing something inappropriate? We're in a corner by ourselves, like having this conversation with you all. But once again, see, this is what happens with lower vibrational people. They'll come up and she attacked us because we're over here laughing, having a nice time. She doesn't even know what we're talking about. She just had to come and get in our face and scream. So a lot of people I know would have taken that personally and been like, wow, I did something wrong, or I'm gonna feel bad about that. What you gotta realize is there's so many people in different low frequencies that they're gonna try and just throw their crap at you all the time. And it's like, you gotta let that bounce off. You gotta be like, Whoa, too bad for her.
It's got to be a shield, like a night shield. Of a you know, you got to protect it, but you got to like let it be like a mirror where that energy reflects back to themselves. You know,
yeah.
Like
we're gonna go have to
like her,
send
like,
her big kisses or something when she goes by. But well, you know, don't we have some of that dark energy in here? Wasn't I watching something about there's some weird Pluto thing going on with communication, and people are like freaking out a little bit?
Well, I mean, there's been some gnarly astrology recently. I mean, we do have a bunch of eclipses coming up, which are very ancient events, right? Where they would scare the crap out of us. But you know what? We find out that those eclipses actually bring great change. So we are about to enter another big change. We are in the year of the snake, right? This is the snake shedding the skin right now. I think it goes well with 2012 is like, it's not over. Like, you know, it wasn't one day, like Earth Day, one day and it's over, like, you know? And I think that's the whole thing, is this is a hard process as long as you let it be hard.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
There definitely is a huge shift going on.
So.
And, you know, change is inevitable, and it can be exhilarating, it can be fearful. Feel it and just try and stay in the good vibes as much as possible, because no matter what, if you can pull yourself up into a feeling of feeling better, you're actually going to bring things into your life that make you feel better. So sometimes you have to put the cart before the horse, and that might be one of these times. So if you're not feeling great, feeling a little overwhelmed by, you know, what's going on in your world, just remember, you know, you can go out and enjoy the sun, appreciate the little things, and they will build a general overall sense of well-being. And you know, sometimes that's all you need to get into the good vibe that starts bringing in more good things into your life. Just ease your way into peaceful or comfortable or
I love it. Well, thank you so much for doing this video with me, and I just wanted to share a lot of my viewers with all of what Miss Morning Mayan has done. You can check her out. Your YouTube's Morning Mayan, right?
That's right, that's right. And I wrote a book on frequencies and manifesting what you want in your life and how to get there using vibrations. So
and a lot of 2012 stuff. You're one of the people that was very involved with getting that information out there.
Absolutely, and we had a successful shift. We're all here.
We are all here, but you know what? I mean, it is beautiful, like life. I want people to remember it's so beautiful right now, and your life is so beautiful, and you have the power to access it and turn off that damn CNN. Get the info and then leave it if you have to. Yeah. Sometimes you don't even need it. I think it's good to stay connected, but they're like on a week straight of like standing outside where it happened, as like people are getting back to their lives and still continuing in that energy field.
Right,
you know?
right. Don't go wallow in the crap once you identify it as crap.
Yeah.
That would be my advice to everybody. You know, go find the flowers, go find the, you know, warm water and the love, and stay away from the crap.
Well, thanks again. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me.